Hey pellers, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about Shimano's leaked 12-speed Dura-Ace Wireless group set. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Yes, you heard me correctly. I will be showing you guys the 12-speed wireless group set that Shimano is yet to put out. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen because that is fake news. So I actually saw a leak of what we thought was a leak for the 12-speed Dura-Ace wireless group set a while back on Instagram, but it was not accurate. And I actually did some basic, editing to really confirm this, that I will show in the video. But it was just funny how I originally saw this and I was like, wow, I should make a video about this leak, because if it is a new Dura-Ace wireless group set, then that's gonna be crazy tech, and I love coming with tech on this channel. So we're gonna stop talking and get right into this video right now. So on Instagram, I do follow Remco Evenepoel. I've actually ridden with him in real life, so that was pretty cool. And he actually posted a video of him on his bike getting back from recovery, getting back on the bike, getting back into training. And a lot of people took screenshots of his bike thinking that it was a new 12-speed wireless Dura-Ace Di2 group set, but that is not the case, and I'm here to break it down. Now, the pictures that were circling around for this new 12-speed Dura-Ace Di2 group set was primarily the front derailleur, but if we looked at the rear derailleur also, a lot of people use this shot that I'm showing you guys right now, saying that this shows that there's no wire at the back for the rear derailleur and also near the cassette, but that's not the case. So because the video isn't that detailed, because it was taken from afar, what I decided to do was pretty interesting. So I took a screenshot of the video, and this is the picture you're looking at right now, and with some basic editing technology. I know this is crazy. I was surprised a lot of people didn't do this themselves, but I basically put it into my editing software and I just sharpened the image. Now, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but for me, I can clearly see that there's wires going through the chainstays. So that just shows you that it's most likely current Di2 Dura-Ace 11-speed group set, not wireless, just normal Di2. But if we look at the picture originally, I'll show you guys right here, you can actually see the wire, you can see the cable, but then when I sharpen the image with my super technology skills, you can actually see that's more prevalent. So that kind of debunks it right there, and I will get into why I think it's totally debunked. So if we also look at that image right now, you can see the derailleur. A lot of people said, well, the rear derailleur looks really different, but if you actually look at the shape of the rear derailleur that we see Remco actually have, it looks very normal to the current Dura-Ace that we have right now, especially with the two shapes. So I think it just comes down to the video and maybe some lighting issues, or just a perception of how people saw the video like I originally did, because it's pretty believable. And this one really shocks people. This is another shot. So if you compare this derailleur to the shot of Remco's bike, it looks very similar, nothing crazy in terms of change in terms of the configuration or the look. So what got me and got a lot of people guessing was the front derailleur. So right there, it looks very different from the traditional one, but I think that's just because of the angle and also how the lighting was falling, because when I literally typed in Dura-Ace R90-100, which is the current Dura-Ace, you can see that this is the image that comes up, which if you switch between this image, which you can still see that it looks very similar to the image of Remco's bike, I would say it's basically the exact same. There's nothing that on this one, other than how the light's probably hitting it, that makes Remco's looks like a new group set, which it's not, and I'll get into that. So basically, I wrote some key points. So right there, I just want to debunk it. If you guys just wanted to see whether or not Shimano Dura-Ace Di2 12-speed wireless was coming out, definitely not. And I also made a video on my channel recently talking about Specialized's new leaked shoes, where in that Instagram post, they made him crop the shoe out of the picture, where on this situation, the video is still up. Specialized is so focused on keeping things under the wraps for their new shoe. You think Shimano wants pretty much their most expensive flagship group set to be leaked, and then Remco can just have the video still on his page? Definitely not. Now, yes, athletes do get sent these group sets for testing, for riding purposes, for feedback, but it would be kept under wraps. It'd probably be at like a disclosed location where they can test it out on some group rides, but they wouldn't just give it out, especially when this is something that, you know, functionality wise, yes, from a couple rides they can get a sense of it, but a shoe is a little bit more personal. So I can understand why Specialized would give riders to ride long kilometers in the shoes, but in this situation, they're not giving full group sets anytime yet, and especially not having them posted on their social media where millions of people can see. So that's just debunked right there. If you heard from anyone other than me that Dura-Ace Di2 12-speed wireless was coming out, totally false. But you know, I'm expecting it to happen very soon, because the last time they launched the Dura-Ace group set was 2017. Another thing I want to add, so it's been 3 years, but another thing I wanted to add was if we look back at Remco's group set, you can see that the crank is the standard current crank that we have right now. And just based on history, usually they like to do a different design for the crank. So that's another reason why this is definitely not 12-speed wireless Di2 group set. And on top of that, if you look at the picture with the front derailleur, you can definitely count 11 cogs at the back, so not 12-speed. So now that basically wraps it up in terms of is there a 12-speed wireless Dura-Ace Di2 group set? And the answer is no. But if you guys want to stick around and hear what I have in terms of when I think the new Dura-Ace Di2 wireless group set is going to come out, then stick around. Like this video, subscribe if you enjoyed it, because I definitely love debunking and covering bike tech on this channel, but we're gonna get into it right now. So I'm expecting Dura-Ace Di2 to come out 2021, hopefully during the Tour Down Under, so January-ish, February-ish, if things go relatively back to normal or somewhat back to normal. You can see a lot more bike tech slowly get rolled out, so I'm very excited for that. And it will most likely be 12-speed because there is already 12-speed with Shimano's mountain bike, which is XTR, and their other group sets within the mountain bike range. So Shimano's already done 12-speed. Now they're kind of late to the game because SRAM, which I own, Force Axis, already has a 12-speed group set along with Campagnolo, and they have 12-speed group sets both. But the one thing that makes SRAM so unique is the fact that it's wireless, and Shimano currently has cables that doesn't make it wireless. So the thing that makes 12-speed so unique is that the smallest claw can have 10 teeth, and then the jump between gears is less. So rather than it being a very drastic jump, it's very concise. So a lot of riders are gonna appreciate that while riding. Now, the bad thing that can come from 12-speed group sets is the fact that you can't have backwards compatibility with tires. So that's something to remember, and also other group sets for parts and whatnot, that's to be expected with new tech. Now, the new Shimano Dura-Ace R9200 will be made both in mechanical, Di2, hydraulic, and rim. So Shimano's basically covering all the frontiers in terms of group set. Now, you don't actually see that with SRAM. So for SRAM's top of the end stuff for Red and Force Axis, you don't have the availability of rim brakes, but that's to be expected since the majority of the biking industry is going towards disc brakes, though Shimano still wants to be available for everything, which is great to see because I still ride rim brakes, and I think rim brakes are great for racing, especially at Grand Tours, which we obviously see the Tour de France be won on, and the Giro d'Italia just won on rim brakes, and I wouldn't be surprised if La Volta is also won on a rim brake bike. So in terms of my prediction for the new Dura-Ace Di2 group set, R9200 to be exact, is that it won't be wireless. And the reason why is because, you know, currently for Di2, you have a battery that charges the components via junction boxes, and I just don't see Shimano implementing wireless technology with the next launch. Now, I do know that Shimano has put patents in terms of having wireless components, but I just don't see it right now in terms of it being launched within the next year or two. Now, I just don't see wireless being implemented right now with the next launch of Dura-Ace, and that's just because of the shifting speed. Now, don't quote me on this point, but the reason why I think Shimano will take a while for them to fully convert to wireless is because they are known for the quality in terms of speed and in terms of efficiency when shifting with Dura-Ace Di2, that to have that quality of shifting be done wirelessly, it's just not going to happen until they really refine the wireless process. And that's, you know, that's true because I've ridden Dura-Ace Di2 in terms of testing it, and I've ridden my Force Axis, and I've also ridden Red, and just the quality in terms of the speed. Now, this is very negligible, but obviously if you're, you know, the top of the food chain in terms of group set, being Shimano, that's their whole game in terms of group sets, manufacturing group sets. They want to be known for having the best stuff. I think majority of cyclists can agree when you ride a Dura-Ace Di2 group set and compare that to the Red ETAP group sets, that the Dura-Ace Di2 group set shifts a lot faster and a lot crisper than the Red ETAP group set. But then again, I say that it's negligible, but that would explain why Shimano's going to take a while for them to fully release their wireless group set. And the other thing that makes it really interesting is that Shimano would have to have uniquely separate batteries like you see on SRAM's group sets to power the front derailleur and the rear derailleur. So that would be interesting to see how they implement that, which I said that they most likely will in the coming years, but I just don't see it for the next launch of the R9200 group set. I also think there's going to be a heavy emphasis on the new Dura-Ace R9200 group set being primarily for road racers, just because that's usually how Dura-Ace works. It's primarily for the pro peloton. In terms of the crank, which I already mentioned that in the Remco video, he doesn't have a new crank, so that shows yet again that this isn't the new group set. But in terms of the new group set, it's most likely going to be an alloy crank that we usually see, and a 2x version only. 1x, I just don't see it, just because it was not popular. 1x systems are not popular for road, and since Dura-Ace is primarily focused for road racers and pro racers, there was one team, Aqua Blue, I'm pretty sure, that used the 1x system, but other than them, no one really adopted the 1x system in pro racing, so that's why they're primarily going to stick to a 2x crank system. And to conclude this video, what would I like to see if Shimano releases their Dura-Ace Di2 R9200 group set? Yes, I would love it to be wireless. I think everyone would, and I'd be probably very shocked if it is, but I just don't see it. I could be wrong, but that's based on all the information and previous information we have on Shimano. I just don't see it happening as of right now. But I love debunking this video, so if you guys did appreciate this research that I did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until the next one, keep on pedaling.